Welcome back, my friends, to my channel and to day 3 of Vlogmas. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a really simple process creating gift tags with that gel plate and some foliage from my yard. This is a fun process that was included in one of my past classes called Tagtastic, where I share a variety of ways to create unique gift tags. But today we're going to be using my gel plate. I picked the color green, just the color green for this process because I wanted to keep it simple, but you could really have fun with those colors. And I collected some little pieces of nature, some ferns, some leaves that I am going to sprinkle around my gel plate. Now I am wanting to get my first print done. I like that negative space print that I will get initially, but what I'm really wanting are to capture some of those details. So just as a little example for anyone new to jelly printing, I am first going to get an initial print where you can see any of my things are the color white. Then I am going to pull all of those little pieces of nature off and print it again, which will actually pick up a lot of the details. And that's actually my personal favorite part of printing from nature with a jelly plate, is getting a lot of those fine little details that you find in leaves and things from nature. You can see it looks a lot different from my initial print, but I'm going to make use of this when it comes to those tags. So you could certainly cut up larger pieces of paper, but I'm actually going to sprinkle my tags around the surface of my jelly plate. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm starting with some color, and then I'm going to use my brayer to distribute that color, get a good, even little layer of that color green. And I am once again going to sprinkle my little items from nature. I've got ferns, I've got some old leaves. Pretty much anything from nature is going to work, even if it is beat up or kind of dried out. I like ferns because they look a little bit like a Christmas tree, so you can have fun with the shape of the things that you collect. Now what I'm going to do first is actually get my first initial print. So I'm getting that negative space print where there's going to be a lot of contrast between those white areas and that green. But what I really want is to then go back in with my tags that I have already cut into strips and just layer them onto the surface of my gel plate. So I'm just setting them onto those designs. I'm letting things be offset. They are not quite perfect, and that is okay. I'm just letting it be. Then I'm adding a scrap piece of paper to the top and just using my brayer to press things down, and then I will be peeling them off. And you can see that I have then printed onto those strips in a unique way. I kind of like this process a little bit better than cutting out my large pieces of paper, because you can kind of place things in an interesting way when you are working with that gel plate. Sometimes I just like getting creative with my surfaces, and instead of using one giant piece of paper, I like thinking of my little strips of those tags as being like a composition all in themselves, and I can have a little bit of control where I place things and how I layer that paper over the top of my gel plate. So you'll notice I am just layering my little strips, doing the same thing, using my brayer to press things down, and this time around I am going to get 2 prints. I'm going to get that really vibrant negative space print, and then I'm going to do the same thing where I go back in and I pull my little items away, leaving a lot of those teeny tiny details behind, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go right over the top of that surface. This time around I'm just using a piece of paper, and we're going to have fun with cutting up some of these pieces of paper as well as using the strips that I have already cut out. Again, you can work either way, and I wanted to show you different ways that you could work, because if you already have those strips cut out, you could really have fun printing them with your gel plate. Or you can use larger pieces of paper with those jelly prints and actually turn them into those tags. So if all you have is a hole punch, you can absolutely cut these into strips, punch a hole in the top, and you've got yourself a tag. Or you can use a tag punch and transform those strips into unique little decorative tags. And so for myself, in a really quick 30-minute session of gel printing, I've got a handful of tag strips as well as larger surfaces surfaces that I can cut up into either more tags or even use those surfaces to create greeting cards. I will use my jelly plate prints and scraps and leftovers in a variety of different ways. But for this process, I just wanted to show you all two different versions of actually printing on a large piece of paper, cutting it up into strips, or again, using those strips on that gel plate. You can go about it either way. The fun thing is that with a few sheets of paper, 3 sheets of watercolor paper, 4 sheets of watercolor paper, you can create an entire collection of gift tags that could probably get you through a lot of your wrapping and your handmade gift giving. It's really a fun way to create something pretty quickly with supplies you might already have on hand. And if you don't have a jelly plate, I would say that for the future, it is a great investment because you can create a variety of different papers and surfaces, utilize nature, utilize a variety of different items to create some really unique surface design and pattern. I love, love, love using things from nature, and I specifically love using the color green in combination with nature. It's such a simple and unique way to add a little special touch of nature to your gift wrapping and your gift giving during the holiday season.